Hey there YouTube, this is Showcase Watches. Today bringing you a video about the Amiga SEAMASTER Professional. This is of course the No Time to Die Special Edition. Now notice I say Special Edition because this is not a limited edition watch, this is just a Special Edition. And what that basically means is that it's a one-off. They're not going to spin off numerous models from this watch. It is a one-off. There is this model, there is the version on the NATO strap, and that is it. So it's a special edition, not limited. Production model, so you can go online, you can buy one, you can go to your authorized dealer. If they don't have one in the window, they will order one for you, and Amiga have opened the taps on production of these now, because obviously with the recent world events, they're not readily available, but that's simply been a delay due to world events. Now Amiga have opened the taps a little bit on the watch, and they are getting into the authorized dealers, and they are readily available. So if you're wanting one, now's the time to buy, because the authorized dealers should be able to get you one. If they don't have it in the window, you should get one in a week or two. So moving into the watch, this is a grade 2 titanium dive watch, based obviously on the Amiga SEAMASTER Professional. So the Amiga SEAMASTER Professional we know and love. They have recently released the Amiga SEAMASTER Professional with the Wave Dial back in 2018. Absolutely stunning watch, check it out. I have reviewed that watch in some detail. I've owned that watch and love it thoroughly. Powered by the caliber 8800. This particular one is the Node 8 version of that movement. So it is an 8806 movement, which is in-house, coaxial escapement. It is METAS and COSC certified, which basically means that the movement is, in short, it goes through rigorous testing, numerous positions as a cased watch. So it has been put through its paces, and it has come out the other side, and yeah, this is what you're buying. The watch is tested within an inch of its life for accuracy, for anti-magnetic field of up to 15,000 Gauss. It is tested in different positions. The power reserve is tested. It is tested on low reserve in multiple positions. It really does go through the mill as a cased up watch. And yeah, so once it goes through all those testings, it gets the METAS and COSC certification. And there you go. This is what you're paying the money for. You're paying the money for the technology that is in this watch. You're paying the money for the build quality of this watch, and obviously the materials used. And of course, you've got to, I'd be lying if I said you weren't paying a premium for the bond relationship. Of course you are. Amiga is a business at the end of the day, so they're going to cash in on it. And, if I was Amiga, I would too. So, I can't criticise them for that. So basically the watch is made of the bracelet, the case, it is all made of grade 2 titanium. Now, grade 2 titanium differs from the other titanium that Amiga sometimes use. Amiga, particularly in the Planet Ocean line, have used grade 5 titanium. Grade 5 titanium can be polished to a reflective surface. Grade 2 titanium cannot. So with this watch, everything is a matte brush finish. So there is no shiny reflective surfaces on this watch, which is part of the aesthetic. That is what they were going for. They were, remember, this is a movie prop for a 007, the Man of Mystery, James Bond. This is the watch that was made to go on his wrist. James Bond is a Secret Service. He doesn't want anything too flashy. He wants something a bit under the radar, something military-esque, something as a tool watch. And that is what Amiga have gone for with this watch. Now, when this watch was first released, I wasn't a fan. I saw the pictures. I wasn't a fan of it. They've put the broad arrow, where on the Amiga SEAMASTER Professional, the standard one, you'd have the date window where the broad arrow is. So what they've done is, because this has got the 8806, 8806 caliber movement, what they've done is they've made the watch as a no date with that movement. They have, instead of having the date window, they have put the crow's foot there, which is the military mark of owned by the UK government, which obviously, government property. 007's watch would be part of government property, so they've put it on this watch as well. Now, think of this watch as a movie prop. That's the easiest way to look at this watch. It is a very, very high quality, well-made movie prop. And anybody who loves the James Bond franchise, anyone who loves the Bond movies and Amiga are going to absolutely adore this watch. I do love the Bond franchise. as regulars of the channel will know, I've owned multiple Bond watches, not the limited editions, but the standard production run, and I love my Bond watches. I love Bond watches, I love Omega. So this watch was a bit of a no-brainer for me, but for some reason I held back. I just wasn't keen on this watch when I first saw it. But when I actually saw this watch in the flesh, my opinions immediately changed. Immediately changed. This watch is a watch that has to be seen to be appreciated. It's absolutely stunning. I have fallen head over heels for this watch. I really have. The features of this watch, the bracelet, super, super comfortable. It's rigid. I mean, that's as much flex as it's got in it. That is the maximum amount of flex, so it is a rigid watch. But because of the multiple adjustments, you can get a perfect fit on most wrists. So, this fits me like a glove. And I was thinking about this last night when I was wearing it. It's almost like it's a tailored suit. The way it hugs the wrist, it is just like a tailored suit when it slips over. It's beautiful. It really is, and it's so comfortable. And because it's grade 2 titanium, it is so light. So you practically don't even know you're wearing a watch. I mean, this has been on my wrist now pretty much solid for the last week and a half since I got it. None of the other watches have really had chance to get any wrist time. I did put my Rolex GMT Batman on yesterday, but that was for one day. This has been on my wrist the rest of the time, and it's just beautiful. It is just a beautiful watch. Now, grade 2 titanium, so it's very, very tough. It's very, very light. It is, however, very, very expensive, and a lot of the cost is within this bracelet, because when you look at the camera will pick it up. If you look at the engineering that's gone into this bracelet, it is absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, the case is also grade 2 titanium. We've got the helium escape valve there, like the traditional Omega SEAMASTER Professional. Screw down crown. This watch is water resistant to 300 meters. On the back, we have got the 007 logo at the bottom. Now, I'm so pleased they put this on the back of the watch. If they'd have put it on the front, I would never have bought it. But because it's on the back, I can appreciate what it is, and it's there. It's not offensive to me. It's not upsetting me being on the back of the watch. If it had been on the front, I wouldn't have never have bought the watch, but on the back, perfectly happy with that. These numbers, they do have some meaning. It's basically, from my understanding, this means it's a dive watch, it's a military watch, blah, blah, blah. The letter A means dive watch, I believe, the 007, and then the 62 is 1962, when the first Doctor No movie came out, which was, of course, the first James Bond movie. So the numbers are a little bit pointless. But, I think looking at the movie trailers, I think the numbers actually have some significance in the movie. So again, take this with a pinch of salt. The numbers mean something in the movie, which is why I'm saying treat this as a movie prop. Don't take this watch seriously. A Rolex Submariner is a serious watch. That's a serious dive watch. It also attracts a very serious type of owner. This watch is as capable, and possibly more so, than the Rolex Submariner, due to its anti-magnetic properties, 15,000 Gauss and the movement, etc. It's arguably a better movement than the Submariner. It can do everything the Submariner does, but it's not to be taken as seriously as the Submariner. And this is why I love Omega, because you've got a serious piece of kit. You've got a serious piece of kit, but you've not got the seriousness of the brand. You don't have to take this watch as serious as you do other brands. On the back, we've got diver 300 meters, we've got 300 meters, 1,000 feet, and we've also got here, now this is the Naiad lock, which basically means that you cannot, when you unscrew the back of the case and you put it back on, the lettering is always going to be straight. It's a special system that Omega patented, I think about 2 years ago, which guarantees that the lettering is always going to be straight. You can't have any wonky lettering. So this is something that Omega have done, and it's a great thing that they've done, because obviously Omega are known for putting lettering on the back of watches, especially with the Omega Speedmasters and so on. So having the lettering all straight, there would be nothing worse than this being skewed ever so slightly, so that it would look horrible. So putting that lock in place is fantastic. The helium escape valve is something that I think people just Amiga fans like myself, I accept it's there. It's part of the design of the watch. And to be honest, unless I'm doing a video, I never even noticed the helium escape valve. It's not something I ever look at. It's not something that bothers me. It's not something that interferes with my daily life. I'm an Amiga fanboy. I just accept, that's part of its design feature. A little bit like, and a lot of people have said it, little bit like the Cyclops on a Rolex Submariner, on the date version. Some people adore it, some people hate it, and that is very much like what this is on the Amiga. So just I'll put the bracelet through so that you can see it. So it's a little bit tricky to do with gloves on. So obviously it opens up there. All grade 2 titanium. The logo there. Really, really, really well made. And this isn't a new clasp. This is the same as what they've been used on the Planet Ocean line and a lot of the rubber straps and a lot of the fabric straps. So this isn't a new clasp, but it's obviously grade 2 titanium. And I cannot overstate how difficult it is to work with titanium. So, a lot of the cost is into the machining of this and a lot of the technology that's required to machine this type of quality out of such a tough material. So let's just bob that open. So what we do is we feed the bracelet through there. We find our notch, which for me is the third one, and we just press it in, and that's it. And then fold it over, and that's it. And it sits on the wrist beautifully, and it is just like a tailored suit. It really, really is. And one thing I've not covered, the main part, which is of course the dial, bezel, and hands, etc. So the dial is a anodized grade 2, an anodized aluminium, which basically means it's aluminium, but the anodized has made it quite scratch resistant and tougher. So, and they've also done the same with the bezel. So the bezel is also anodized aluminium, which basically means that the bezel and the dial are going to age beautifully with time. And so what Amiga have done with the indices and the text on the outside of the bezel, they've given it this creamy sort of patina. Now, it's not, I wouldn't call this a faux patina. Usually faux patina is very aged looking, and it makes the watch look very, very old. This doesn't look like an old watch. I don't think this looks like an old watch. I think what they've done is they've been very, very clever in the colouring that they've used. Very, very. I mean, you can see it in some angles. This is a watch that wears many faces, and you can see it in some angles. It's more of a custard. It's more like a custard colour than a faux patina. It's an arguable point that this is a faux patina, or it's a conscious choice of colour rather than a faux patina. But what they've done is they've basically made it that this colouring will not disappear. So the colouring on the dial, on the indices, and on the loomed bezel, that won't disappear. That will stay as that forever. But the bezel and the dial are going to age together, and they're going to patina together. So this watch, and this is one of the things that I absolutely adore about vintage watches, is the fact that they show a story. They age together. Vintage watches, before the ceramic bezels came out, they aged beautifully, and every mark on the watch told a story. Now, with the ceramic technology, watches just do not age, and they won't age. You look at a ceramic SEAMASTER in 20 years' time, it will still look exactly the same, just with a scuffed up bracelet and a scuffed up case. This watch, the bezel will age, the dial will age, but because it's anodized, it means it's very, very scratch resistant. So it's not going to scratch very easily, but it will age beautifully. And so, I mean, hats off to Amiga. They have really thought about this. They've done an absolutely splendid job of this. The indices, of course, are all made of grade 2 titanium, filled with the loom. On the outer bezel, you can see everything that is I'll call it the custard, everything that's the custardy faux patina, if that's what you want to call it. Everything that's there, it's all loomed. So on a night time, this watch is just phenomenal. And the loom on it lasts all night. easily all night. I can put this watch on before I go to bed, give it a charge, and I can wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, look at my watch, and I can still tell the time. It's absolutely superb, and all the numbers, the lume pip, everything still illuminates, and it's eligible all night. It's absolutely a pleasure. The hands, and my camera will not pick this up, but the hands, if you get a little lume, a little lens, and look at the hands, because they're made of the grade 2 titanium, and because of the way they've been cut, they have got just the most beautiful looking pattern on the hands. But I mean, it's proper macro. My camera will never zoom in to that extent, but if you look it up, you can see it, and the hands are just absolutely stunning. Yeah, this camera's never going to pick it up, unfortunately. You can see a little bit of colouring there, very, very slight, but when you see it close up and the way it's been cut, because you can see all the cut marks in the titanium, it makes the most beautiful pattern. It's absolutely stunning. So, I mean, who's this watch going to appeal to? Well, of course, it's going to appeal to the Omega fans. It's going to appeal to the James Bond fans. For me, the reason I love this watch is because I love its understated ness. I love the fact that you can wear this watch with jeans and a t-shirt. You can wear this watch, like now over here in the UK, it's the middle of winter. I wear gloves quite a lot, as in throughout the day, and I find wearing a watch underneath gloves quite uncomfortable, so I always put my watch over the top of my glove. This watch, you can wear it over the top of your glove, and it doesn't look, anything. It's not ostentatious. It's not over the top. You put something a bit more flashy over the top of a pair of gloves, it looks just horrific. You wear something like this over the top of your gloves, it just looks like a tool, and it looks like an absolute tool watch. And this is what I love about this watch. It is tool watch through and through. You guys know I love the Tudor Pelagos. I absolutely adore that watch. I think that watch is superb. But Tudor just isn't a brand that sings to me as much as what Omega do. So for me, this is bringing all the benefits of the Tudor Pelagos. It's bringing all the benefits of the Omega SEAMASTER Professional, the standard stainless steel version, and it's another one of my favourite watches, the 1957 reissue, the trilogy watch, the Omega SEAMASTER 300. It's got the same movement and it's got the same tropical dial. So it's bringing it's sort of combining all these things that I love about a dive watch. It combines it all into one watch, which is what I love. I do love. I mean, it's possibly up to now. It's possibly my favourite Omega. I think that's fair to say. I love it, absolutely love it. Which has been a real surprise because when it came out, I didn't like it at all. I had to see it in person to fully appreciate it, which is a lesson to us all. Don't dislike something just because of a photograph. See it in person, because seeing this watch in person has really, really changed my mind. And you can see it in some lights, like there, the dial looks black. You see it there, it looks grey. It's a watch with so many different faces. It really is. It's just absolutely, absolutely stunning. So comfortable on the wrist, quite thin. Its dimensions are slightly different to the standard Omega SEAMASTER Professional. It's a 42mm watch, but it's 21mm between the lugs, as opposed to 20mm on the SEAMASTER. So it's 21 across between the lugs, which gives it a slightly different aesthetic to the standard version. It's sort of broadened out the lugs ever so slightly, but because the bracelet has a lovely taper to it, and it's just so comfortable. It really is just so comfortable with any outfit, with any attire. It's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this is a watch that I would happily wear. Jeans and a t-shirt, I'd wear it on the beach. At the moment, I'm obviously middle of winter over here in the UK. I'm wearing it over the top of my gloves. It's a watch that I could wear to work quite happily. I could meet customers with this watch on and not feel I would have to cover it up. Often when I was wearing my Rolex Submariner or Batman at work, I felt that I should cover it up before I saw a customer, because it just didn't look right that I was seeing a customer and trying to sell them a product. Meanwhile, I'm sat there with a Rolex Submariner. It just didn't quite give the right impression. This watch is completely under the radar. Completely under the radar. The negative of this watch, is going to be the Bond connection for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to dislike it because of the numbering on the back and because of the 007. Me personally, because it's on the back, it doesn't offend me in the slightest. And having the broad arrow, the crow's foot at the 6 o'clock position, I quite like it. From an aesthetical point of view, I like it. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. Neither does the numbering on the back. I thought it would. It doesn't. You know, a week and a half on the wrist, and I'll be honest, until I've come to review the watch, I've not really thought about it. It doesn't put me off in the slightest. Would I recommend this watch to anybody? 100%. This is an awesome watch. Absolutely awesome watch. Another negative of this watch, the price. £7,880 here in the UK. And this has been recorded on the 3rd of January 2021. £7,880. So this is putting this watch above the Rolex Submariner date in price. So a lot of people will argue that the Rolex Submariner is a better buy. Would I say that? No. You guys know I love my Omegas. I put the Omega Seamaster above. I put the Omega Seamaster Professional above a Rolex Submariner. But that is personal preference. I am an Omega fanboy, and Rolex have done things in the past to really upset me, so I'm probably biased in that decision. But from a technological point of view, I just think Omegas are just fantastic watches. I really do, and I think the Omega Seamaster Professional, the No Time to Die, it's a tool watch. It's a dive watch. It's everything you need in a dive watch. It's understated. It's tool watch. It's going to age beautifully. It's got the beautiful bezel. It's got the lume bezel, which is just out of this world, and the bracelet's super comfortable. The clasp is fantastic. It's well engineered. I can't see anything negative about it, apart from the numbering on the back, which isn't any drama to me, but I think for a lot of people they would dislike it. And the price tag, £7,880. That being said, as always, Omega you can get discount on Omega. I got discount on this one, so I paid nowhere near £7,880 for this. But that is the asking price. That is what they're asking, which is a colossal sum of money for an Omega Seamaster Professional. You expect it with a Rolex Submariner because we're used to paying that and more on the pre-owned market. With a Seamaster, I never thought I would live to see the day when an Omega Seamaster Professional would fetch £7,880. But, that's where we are. And if the Rolex can get it, I don't see why Omega can't, because this Omega Seamaster Professional is definitely a watch that I would buy instead of a Rolex Submariner. And to prove that point, I have actually sold my Rolex Submariner. Now that I've got this, my Rolex Submariner has sold. Because I knew that the Rolex Submariner wasn't getting the wrist time, I wasn't wearing it, and I didn't wear it to work, and I've got my GMT Batman, which gets my wrist time. If I want to wear a Rolex, I wear the Batman. Nothing about me was yearning to wear the Submariner. This, I'm obviously still in the honeymoon period, but certainly so far so good. I love this watch, and I would recommend it to anybody. Bear in mind the couple of negatives: the price and the numbering on the back. Everything else is winner. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Check out the rest of the videos that I've done. It is quite heavily Omega orientated. I am a Omega fan. I have done reviews of Rolex before, and I own Rolex, and I love Rolex watches. It's just, the authorized dealer networks just wound me up in the past, so it sometimes influences my judgment with Rolex. I'm not a Rolex fanboy, put it that way. I love the watches, I dislike the brand. Omega, I love Omega. So if you like Omega watches, this is the channel to subscribe to. So thank you for watching. Check out the other videos, and I hope everyone stays safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.